What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Impact. I'm going to show that we like to do whenever Impact ends, and we like to continue discussion, keep everything going, and talk about what we have just seen. And everyone's back. We've got, of course, my co-host Jeff, who's trying to get some food in his system. Poor guy hasn't had anything all day, and you guys just absolutely killed him with all your meals. We have DJ Tazzy, who is with us as well. And, of course, we've got Conrad also with us tonight as well. So we have a four-man panel to talk about what we just witnessed on Impact Wrestling tonight. Welcome to all of you that are here and that came and joined us. Wally's here, Gus, Jen, Kevin Correa, the Coug is here, Justice here, and I think that is it for now. That at least that's in the chat. So I'm sure there probably will be more people that will join us along the way. But welcome. And what we can start with is let's everybody grade tonight's show. So you guys that are in the chat now, let us know what your score is of tonight's show. What did you think of Impact tonight? And we will do the same. So let me start with Tazzy. Since Tazzy's been absent from the shows for a little bit, what did you think of tonight's Impact?
I was just glad to see everything live today. It was just awesome. But what I saw was, and this is might sound weird. I see this is part one of the Go Home show, and then we get part two next Thursday because that's what it seems like it's going. You guys ready? The storylines was great. The psychology in the ring was great. Everything was great on during the show. We got a lot of things set up. We got a lot of set up for Slammiversary. Basically, we got who's going to face Deanna. Is Su Yung coming back? Are we going to get get a stipulation for the title match? X Division. I can't wait. I can't wait till next week. Next week is going to be a ball of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and give this whole show a 8.7.
Okay. All right. 8.7 says Tazzy. What did you guys all think? Like I said, throw up your scores in the chat. Let us know what you thought of Impact tonight. We'll go over to Conrad. Conrad, what did you think of tonight's show?
I thought tonight's Impact was another solid show. Always consistent, moving forward. And Tazzy's probably right. This is kind of like a two-part go-home show. Like, they got you kind of hyped, and then you're like, well, if this was what was tonight, what happens next week? So lots of things, and there's still lots of surprises to come. So I am going to go with an 8.5 as well for tonight's show. I thought everything was well done. And kudos to the commentary team for selling it at the end, I thought, too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Jeff, what did you think?
Man, every week it just keeps building and building and building. I thought it was a solid show. Great build for next week. The matches next week are crazy too, leading into Slammiversary. So I'm going to say 8.75. I really enjoyed it. I cannot wait for Slammiversary. It can't get here fast enough.
Yeah, totally agree. Let's see what the chat is saying. James Chadwick said 9 out of 10. The Coug says that last segment of Kenny and Sammy made it a 9 out of 10 for me, building up to nice to Slammiversary. Sean Rousset says 8.75 out of 10. Don Callis, that footage was doctored. Yeah, he tries to wiggle his way out of everything. Good old Don, doesn't he? Yes, absolutely. All right. Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with anything any of you guys have said. I loved the promos that they had. Some of the matches that really weren't necessarily spotlighted. You had Rosemary and you had Havoc teaming up again. So, of course, again, leading into Slammiversary. You had, of course, Deanna. It was great to see Gail Kim. Gail Kim made her way down to the ring to have a talk with Deanna. Deanna assumed that Gail Kim wanted a match. Well, obviously wasn't the case. And basically saying that She is going to get a mystery opponent. And I thought it was interesting. The key line that she said there was part of that Slammiversary ad. And that's kind of why it led me to believe, and us as well, to believe that it's going to be somebody new that's going to come in. And a lot of people are saying Chelsea Green. It could be Chelsea. But again, like Tazzy pointed out, we got the promo at the end. It could be Sue Young. We saw Father James Mitchell, and we saw that whole thing happening as well. And Kimber, obviously, since Deonna attacked those two, Kimber could be trying to get some revenge on Deonna at this point. So it could be that as well. We don't know. We'll see. But yes, and then, of course, that ending. We all knew somebody gets taken away to jail. How are these cops keeping these people in that prison cell? Because apparently they're not doing a very good job of it. They never stay there. They always make their way back. Or Scott D'Amore just got him bailed out. But that was some quick paperwork. That was some really quick paperwork to get him bailed out that quickly. But they worked their magic. Sammy used his phone, got into the ring, and, of course, laid the smackdown on Kenny Omega tonight, man. Kenny went through a table, and Don was not at all happy. So, yeah, again, continuing those storylines. I like the idea that Tazzy put out there about how this is part one of a two-part go-home show, which I agree with that too. So I'm going to give it an 8.5 as well. Again, I think it was a good show. I think there's a lot of good stuff. We had Moose destroying Swingers Palace. I hope that's not the end of Swingers Palace. We know where Swinger and Bravo were doing someone dirty. So I don't know if that's going to sit very well with Sami Callihan. They have something to say to those two guys also. So if Moose didn't destroy that, Sammy might. So, all right. Chad says I give Impact an 8.5 out of 10. Good to see Gail Kim. Podcast 10 out of 10. Well, thank you, Chad. Really, really appreciate that. Sammy made Omega his bitch. Yeah, he certainly did. He certainly did, James. Yes, he did. Oh, all right. So let's do it a little differently this week. We're not going to go obviously match for match. And I'll go around table again. I'll start with Jeff. Jeff, what match tonight really, really stood out for you as the one that you took the most out of? What match really stood out for you tonight on the show?
That's a great question, and I got to say Morrissey. we made fun of it because it's a bit ridiculous, but the way that they keep building him, I feel like there's something, or maybe they're just building him that way for someone else to pick him up. But I don't know. I mean, the way he is booked right now, he looks unstoppable.
Yeah, great call. Absolutely. Morrissey does. I told you, I don't think he broke a sweat. And I was saying that before the match. I saw normally you could see like the glistening he didn't even break a sweat, man. Impressive. Really impressive. I'm really hoping that we don't lose him after Slammiversary because I really enjoy what he's doing. So I hope he's not just kind of signed temporarily and going to head some other place afterwards, kind of like we saw with EC3 last year. So I'm hoping that's not the case. I hope he sticks around because he has been an absolute monster out there. Absolute monster. Conrad, what match stood out for you?
I really enjoyed the four-way match that was made from the tag teams. I thought that match was pretty good. I thought everybody got a chance to shine, and it really made you wonder, like, I really don't have a prediction for the tag team match yet. I don't have a good feel for, like, who I would want to pick. It was a lot of fun, though. I thought it was well done, and I think it also helps seeing Carl Anderson get the win because he's going to be facing Jon Moxley for the IWGP Championship. Yeah. It was well done how they put it all together, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And again, another match that, was kind of an impromptu match. There was no real build-up to it. It wasn't advertised. Just kind of happened. So, yeah, cool to see that. And, of course, we're going to get more of that on next week's show as well. So, and again, I'm sure it's going to lead into Slammiversary as well. So, Philip says a 10 out of 10. Hey, dude, that's awesome. Glad you enjoyed it. That's awesome. Chris said a solid 9 and looks great. Thanks to Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. Use promo code Insiders.
I see you.
Chad says my favorite match was also Morrissey. Suns game is another crazy game. Chad, yeah, I checked out the score. They're up by 11 when I looked. Enzo would have a good run here. All right, Jeff, go ahead. Or I'm sorry, Tazzy. Tazzy, go ahead. What was your favorite match tonight? What stood out for you?
For the storyline purpose of the Rosemary and Havoc match, due to the fact that now that you might see a different character of Susie. We're getting to that storyline now. And it's building to bringing back a special someone to Impact.
Yeah, it would really be cool to see Su Yung come back. Usually we end up seeing her around pay-per-view times, so certainly could be something there. I'm going to actually pick the same match you did, but for a different reason. I love how they're building Havoc. Havoc is a monster out there right now. Kimber was hitting her, giving her chops, and she just shrugged everything off. Like nothing she was doing was gonna harm her whatsoever. So they have made her out to be an absolute beast out there right now, which I really, really love. Again, we didn't know what direction Havoc was going to go when the Nevaeh had gone away. So I really love that. I love the team of her and Rosemary, and but they are building her up really, really well, and I love it. And that was part of the reason why. And of course, I'm going to pick a Rosemary match. I mean, why wouldn't I? But yeah, 7 out of 7 says Gus because I only watched some of it. In fact, well, what you watched, mate, must have been really good for you to give it a 7 out of 7. So there you go. That's awesome. DJ Kryptonox says, "Yo, what's up, DJ?
What's
How
up?
are you?
Yo,
Going on? Good to see you. All right. So let's go back and let's talk about some of the other things that made an impact tonight. So let's go to this because obviously it's out there. Let's see who each person thinks is the mystery opponent for Deonna Purrazzo for Slammiversary. So let's go there. And this time I will start with Conrad. Conrad, who do you think it's going to be? Obviously, it's not Gail Kim, which Deonna kind of thought it was going to be. But there were some names thrown around in the chat tonight. We heard names like Awesome Kong. We heard Mickie James. We've heard some other names out there. So who do you think are we going to see go up against Deonna for that championship at Slammiversary?
I think it's time for the return of the hot mess, Laurel Van Ness. Jeff put it perfectly, but I watched a whole wedding segment that I missed from when I took time off from Impact with Braxton Sutter, Laurel Van Ness, Allie. These people are ingrained in some of the tough times, but fans still remember them and still talk about when she was there. And I've been seeing more clips. I think you really have to put her in there. Chelsea Green is a tremendous wrestler too. So I would be happy to see her back at Impact. That's my pick for who it's going to be.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I'll turn it over to Tazzy. Who do you think it's going to be?
It could be two. It could be a returning Su Yung, but I doubt it's going to be somebody that's there. So I agree with Jeff said earlier. It might be Chelsea Green. It's just it fits. It fits. She's been there. It's like I said. It's going to be somebody that got released, obviously. So yeah, Chelsea Green.
I'm going to have to agree. I think it's the most logical choice, and yeah, Jeff brought it up in the stream. I would say that, yes, I would say it's going to be Chelsea Green as well. Su Yung, good chance she does come back, or Susie, whichever they decide to go with, but that's probably going to be for something completely different. She could come in and cost Deonna as well. That could be part of that whole thing, but I don't think that's the person who she's going to end up wrestling. I do believe that it is going to be Chelsea Green. It just made sense with what Gail Kim said. James says Chelsea Green. Deonna versus Chelsea Green as Laurel Van Ness, says Chad Schrader. I would love for it to be Ruby Riott, but it's too soon for Ruby. Yeah, I would have said Ruby would have been my dark horse, but yeah, I don't think she can do it unless her. Listen, that whole thing with that clause with WWE, I think is all messed up. So that may, Alistair's may have not been the only contract that was screwed up. So don't be so surprised if you might see somebody else from that group end up going somewhere sooner than we thought. Sean says Chelsea Green. Deanna versus Ruby, maybe, says chat. So Ruby Riot's name's being thrown around out there. Chelsea definitely, says DJ. Okay, Jeff. We pretty much know who you already picked because you talked about it during the show. But go ahead again.
Yeah, Chelsea Green, a.k.a. Laurel Van Ness, the hot mess. I just think, honestly, and I think she said this recently on one of her podcasts, why the F did I leave Impact? And that's a really good question. I mean, I get it, but sometimes we learn whether or not the decisions we make are the right ones. And honestly, the pieces never fit together in WWE. She had a lot of injuries, a lot of things going on. So I think it's time for her to go back home. And I mean, I think it's going to be a great match. And it's already been teased on social media between the two. So I think we'll get Deanna and Laurel Van Ness. And I mean, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome to see that. Better question, I guess, and make it a two-parter. Do you guys think she could win? Do you guys think she will come in and she will beat Deanna, who has been astronomical over this whole past year, winning their Wrestler of the Year for Impact? She's taken on everybody she's run into and beaten everybody she's taken on. So do you think she can come in and be the one to take that title off of Deanna? Go ahead, Tazzy.
For the shock value, yes. It's always the one that's least expected to actually beat that person. Like, you got a person that I think she only lost it once within the last 6 months. And that was her accident because guess what? It was a surprise guest that actually beat her. So it might happen again. And that will start a really good rivalry between her and Deanna. So I'm totally down for her to win. Just to start a rivalry. Might go that rivalry might go all the way to the next pay-per-view. Not the short pay-per-view, but the big pay-per-view.
Yeah. Agree. Jeff, what do you think? Do you think she can win?
Absolutely. I mean, I'll even take it a step further. I think she's going to, because I think Su Young's reemergence will cost Deanna. And then I think we get a program involving Su Young and Deanna, and then maybe we get one with Su Young and Chelsea Green. I mean, the possibilities are endless with what you could do. You could have Kimberly also involved in that. So there are a lot of things that you could do. Deanna has been dominant, but I think what I'd really like to see at this point is how she climbs back to the top. Like, she has a fall, but how does she get back to the top? Is she more ruthless than she's been before? So that's what I would like to see.
Great points. Yeah, great points. What about you, Conrad? What do you think?
50-50 on this one. I can see what everybody said here, so I won't repeat any of that, but I'll give my theory for maybe why not. I think Chelsea Green has, I won't say burned bridges, but I think some people feel a little, where's the Steph Curry salt emoji? Mm-hmm. She's put a little bit of salt out there with a lot of people. She really didn't get too much time in WWE. Say what you want about that. Mm-hmm. She had a chance probably to go to AEW when she was on the All In show. I just had to do a review of it, and I was like, that was an amazing match. And Tony Khan seems like the type of dude, once you tell him no, he's kind of like, nah, I'm not messing with you for right now. Talk to me in a couple months, maybe. Prove yourself to me now. And then Impact's got to be feeling a little salty too. Like, hey, we were pushing you, we were giving you all this, and then you kind of dipped on us. Like, what are we supposed to do here? It's a different management team, so maybe that'll change things up. But I do think they may say, let's see if she's going to play ball and stick around for a while here.
I'm always leery about when you bring someone in like that. I mean, I don't know why I should be, because in other promotions we see it all the time. They bring somebody in for just that one particular pay-per-view. Goldberg. Sorry. That wins a title out of nowhere. So there's, So I mean, we see it all the time, especially during really big pay-per-views. But I don't know. I might be thinking I might be kind of going with Conrad a little bit here and kind of, err on the side of caution with this, because Deanna just is she's so on top of the game. She's so strong right now that I don't know. Like now Jeff said, unless Su Yung comes in and plays a role somehow with her being distracted and then her going, and listen, a program with Deanna and Sue would be amazing. We got a glimpse of that. We saw that already. And it was awesome. So if that does come of that, then yeah, that's awesome. That would be great. But yeah, look, it's just hard for me to see Deanna dropping that, especially at Slammiversary. But hey, it's a starting point for them, but it also could be an ending point. And Deanna has held on to that for a long time. And like Jeff said, sometimes, with these people who hold those belts, it's good to see them fall. See that they're a little bit vulnerable, and then they can make their way back up to get that again. And sometimes they use that to change their character as well. You might see them go through some changes to just keep things a little more interesting. So, but can she lose it? Sure. Do I think she will? I don't know. My gut's saying no. I don't think she will, so I don't know. I could be completely wrong and off base, but I'm going to go with no. I don't think she does. But if the other things that you guys have talked about happen, then yeah, sure. You could certainly see that. James Chaddock says, and don't forget Impact the bitches. The bitches love to fucking swerve us. They do. They really do. Yes, I agree. They really do. What a nasty cough I've got there. Yeah. Goldberg. Sorry. Yeah, I Goldberg stuck in my throat. Sorry. It's like that. Instead of a frog, I'm just going to say I've got a Goldberg stuck in my throat. Yeah. Can totally see Su Yung getting involved, says DJ. I want a milk cart with Taylor Wilde's face. Yeah, where's Taylor?
Please?
Where is Taylor?
I want to get wild. I want to get wild. She's
been gone for a long time. A long time. All right. Let's talk about the Kenny Omega and Sami Callihan thing. Of course, the main event of Slammiversary. And let's just, you know what? I'm going to go with the exact same question I just asked you guys about Dion. Is this the time that Kenny drops that Impact title? Is this the time that Kenny drops that Impact title? Because you know what? And I'm asking you guys because I'm really going back and forth on this. I thought a couple of weeks ago, yes, this is the time he's going to drop it. Now I'm kind of wavering, and I don't know. We have developments over in AEW now where it's looking like they're building up the guy who's going to take that AEW title off of him. If they do that, then are they going to want to take everything away from him? Or is that just going to give him an opportunity to be in Impact more often because he doesn't have the AEW title? So now I'm wavering on it. So I'm going to start with Tazzy. Tazzy, is Sami Callihan going to be the hero that Impact maybe doesn't deserve, but they need? I don't know. I'm trying to get a Batman quote in there. But go ahead. Does Sami Callihan win that title?
I think so, because we all heard the reports of Kenny Omega not doing well and whatever, and he can't really do all this wrestling. And I feel like, man, I really think Callihan can take this title off of him and carry Impact. And apparently we got Moose staying, so that'll be a good match for later down the line. So I'm totally with in a cage match. I am totally with Callihan winning. I'm down.
James Chadwick says we need it to be Omega versus Sami in a Monsters Ball. That would be awesome.
Totally down.
That would be awesome. Conrad saying in the chat, Kenny should never lose it.
I'm trolling.
Well, since you said that, you are now next. DJ Cryptodog said, and this will kick off the losing of all the belts. Cheese Whiz says hello. Hello, Cheese Whiz. How are you? All right, go ahead, Conrad. Is this the time that Kenny drops that title? I mean, look, say what you want to say about Kenny Omega. Like him, hate him. They are bringing eyes to Impact. And you mentioned that in our stream tonight as well. So, do you want to stop doing that now, or do they want to continue it?
I think the main focus of this should be how hurt is Kenny Omega still? Last week it was, I'm thinking about retiring from pro wrestling relatively soon. Then he gets stem cell treatment. Now he feels a lot better. It seems like it's real day to day with him. The torn labrum and all that stuff, that's not healing. I hope people understand that. You're just doing things that it's like, okay, I can work tonight without pain. What about next week? Can I make it through next week? If I do this, am I okay? Yeah, you should be fine. That's why he's not doing too much. The bumps he's taking are pretty minimal. It's really up to what you want to do. Overall, is it time for him to drop the belts? If I'm Tony Khan, I would say yeah. I would say let's move this storyline along, because they've moved forward with Hangman Page already on AEW. We've got a contender in Andrade for Triple Mania. It seems like it's starting to line up all these great people who could take the belt. And I've said it before, Sami Callihan is kind of one of those long-term signings that Impact has, and they know they can rely on this guy. And I think it's a sign of good faith to either put the belt on him and even possibly Moose now.
Yep, great call. Absolutely. All right, Jeff, what do you think? Is this the time that belt is going back to Impact?
If Kenny were completely healthy, I would say no, because I think there's still a little bit left in the tank. But I think with everything going on, I think it's probably time. Let him focus on AEW for right now, do his thing there, and move on from this, and let Impact work with New Japan or whoever else they want to. I think it's interesting that we saw Lady Frost tonight. So that tells me that maybe, just maybe, we'll get some matchups in the men's division. I mean, who knows? Could we get Chris Adonis up against Josh Alexander? Could we get JTG and Moose at some point? I mean, possibilities are endless, and I would be all for that. So I think it's time, though.
Man, like I said, I've been so back and forth on this the last couple of weeks, because I was convinced, like 2-3 weeks ago, I was convinced that Sami was getting that title. And you guys all bring up great points. I mean, yeah, you're probably all right in the fact that the health thing is an issue. And it's just, listen, the guy's been going back and forth. And he's not, it's not like he's dodging matches. It's not like he's not been wrestling. He's out there. He wrestled that match with Moose. Then we saw him wrestle a match with Jungle Boy. These aren't short, little, quick 5, 6, 7 to 10 minute matches. These are long, drawn out matches. So, yeah, I think you guys have convinced me. I'm going to agree with you guys. I think that it is time for it to move forward. Sami would have probably, listen, 4 months ago, or however long ago this started with Kenny. If you would have told me that Sami was going to be the guy that was going to do this, I probably would have said you were crazy. I would have never gone that route at that time. I would have thought it would have been somebody else that they were going to push up there, Eddie Edwards, or I don't know, but I do think that that Sami is going to get it. And again, for all the reasons you said, Conrad talking about him being long-time signing for Impact and kind of being a face there that everybody knows. So I would think so. Quick one again with this match, and then we'll get to we'll get to the end, because we're coming up on quarter of the hour and people got to work tomorrow. So, do you guys think this match gets a stipulation? I'll start with Conrad. Do you think they announced some sort of stipulation for this next week?
Hell yeah. I thought they were going to play it off tonight with the contract signing, because his name was on it already, and he could have just picked up and said, I'm going to change the terms of this agreement, because Sami has to put a stipulation on this, I feel like, because you still have to worry about the Bucks, the Good Brothers, Don Callis, Michael Nakazawa probably, the Stooge Cutler. You have a lot of things that could go wrong in this. They have lots of layers to what they could do. I guess I have to put it back on you guys though. What's the best stipulation that they could come up with?
All right, good point. Shoot it over to Tazzy. Stipulation. What are you thinking?
Some kind of cage match. It just keeps everybody out. I might have to put a lid on it too. Because you know how the Young Bucks like to climb things. Anyway,
right.
Yeah, I would definitely be a cage match where you have weapons. You guys know what that is, and weapons inside the ring, and yeah, I'm totally down for a cage match. Some kind of crazy ass cage match.
There you go. Everybody's saying yes. DJ Kryptonite says yes. Chad Schrader says hell yeah. DJ Kryptonite says we're about to go back on the road. Taping helped this story along during the pandemic. Very true. Plus, Kenny can do all those appearances when everybody goes, or can he do all these appearances when everybody goes back out? Good point. Good point. Good point. Sammy and Kenny Omega barbed wire cage match, says Chad Schrader. Somebody said Monsters Ball. Jeff, what do you think?
I mean, I think either a Monsters Ball match or a steel cage match. One of those has to be it to keep the others at bay. But we are definitely getting a stipulation. What that is, not sure. Maybe we get everyone banned from ringside or interfering. Maybe that's a possibility. But yeah, we're definitely getting something next week.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with all of you guys. I think so too. Conrad brought up a good point too about, listen, he signed a contract. So it's signed, sealed, and delivered. Now, they didn't say it this week, but it could be something that they say next week where Sammy comes out with that contract that says, you signed it, and then this is what it's going to be. When Don Callis obviously will object to the high heavens and say, no way, we're not doing that. And then they show him too late. You already signed the contract. So, yes, good point. Good point. All right. Final thoughts, gentlemen, and we will get out of here because it's getting close to that time. DJ says, plus during the signing, how Don took for granted that he knew all was in line with the contract as well. Yeah, that's a good point too, because that's a whole thing where Kenny's, relying on Don to be the one that controls all that. And if it turns out that it wasn't what Mr. Callis thought it was going to be, yeah, great point. Maybe Impact roster unites to take the title away, stopping any BS from happening. That's another great point. I was kind of wondering about that too. Like, will they be out there in support of Sammy and stop any interference that might come down? Great call. Great call. Monsters Ball for the violence or a Steel Asylum match, says James Chadwick. DJ says, as long as that is an exploding ring. Tony Khan's refund. Yes, we all know he got a refund. That was in the news this past week. Tony got a refund for the exploding ring. Glad he got his money back, unlike me with that stupid Fiend mask. Go screw yourself, WWE shop. By the way, yes. Chad says 10 out of 10 podcast. Good night, fellas. Good night, Chad. All right, final thoughts, guys, and we will get out of here for the night. So go ahead, Tazzy. Final thoughts on tonight's show. What are you expecting to see on next week's show for the Go Home show?
Lots of shenanigans. I'm just gonna be straight real with you. A lot of shenanigans because come on, it's the Go Home. It's part 2 of the Go Home show. See how I do that? Part 2 of the Go Home shows. Like I said, we're gonna get all the stipulations, not all the surprises, but enough where we can tease everything for next Saturday. I'm gonna say I'm excited, and make sure you join us next Thursday because it's gonna be insane.
Very, very good. Tazzy, also before we go, tell the guys what you're up to because I know you have some stuff going on for streaming for tomorrow and for next week.
So tomorrow, we will have our Friday after party where we talk about all things wrestling. That will start at 11:15 unless C do not do his stream after SmackDown. It won't be long, so come join me because I have to DJ right afterwards. So I really don't have no time to actually be there long. So it'll be like a 45 minutes, if anything. Next Tuesday, back for NXT. That will be at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you're there because we have a big match next Tuesday. Karrion Kross versus Johnny Gargano next Tuesday. Make sure you're there, and don't forget that's the start of the breakout tournament as well.
All right, there you go. Thank you for that, Tazzy. There you go. So make sure you join Tazzy for all that. Yeah, that Cross and Gargano match is going to be something to see. We'll see where, and a lot of us already know if Karrion loses where he's probably going to end up. So Impact has been so good that even my brother likes the product now, and he wasn't that big of a fan. That's awesome. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Okay, let me go to Conrad. Conrad, final thoughts, and then let the guys know too if you've got anything coming up.
First, thank you for having me on once again.
Yeah, absolutely.
I should have probably said that on the other stream too, but we know all the important people are still in here right now. So it was a joke. I think that next week's show is going to be very important. I think they set up a lot of stuff. Listen, we didn't even talk about Jordan Grace, Rachel Ellering.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk about Tennille Dashwood and the mentioning of Iconic. Jazz took a beat down. What's going on with that? There's a lot of stuff happening next week. Dude, we have a ring full of people that probably weighs 1 ton. I'm pretty sure if we add up the weight, it's got to be a ton. There's going to be a Hoss match next week with all 4 guys from the tag title match. This is going to be really good, and I think that this is the perfect time to set up matches, tweak some matches, maybe add a stipulation, tease some surprises, like maybe it's this person, maybe it's not. You don't know. You've got some character development happening. This is why you have to watch Impact every week. And I think with the pandemic, they have really benefited from this because I used to be the guy that would look at the spoilers, be like 3 months ahead and say, I don't need to watch that now. Now I have to watch because I'm invested, and now I don't want to look at the spoilers anymore because I'm like, yo, I need to watch this every single week. Boom, 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 boom. So I think it's great. And as far as upcoming things, you guys know AEW Dynamite reviews after the show goes off air. If you're up still at 10 p.m., I see a bunch of people starting to migrate over from your channel. Thank you guys for that. Come on over, talk some AEW Dynamite. And then also, I think it'll be next week. I have a retro review coming up that I've already pre-recorded. Money in the Bank 2011 dropping on the intern's birthday. So make sure you guys check that out.
Like that.
There you go. That's awesome. There you go. Make sure you go and check that out if you like watching the retro stuff. And most of us all do. Check that out. Awesome. Good deal. All right, Jeff. Go ahead, man. Final thoughts.
Man, great. Another great week. Next week is going to be incredible, I believe. And, let's get pumped up because we are a little over a week away from Slammiversary. And my goodness, I believe it's going to be a huge night. I can't wait for it. So let the countdown begin.
Yep. Couldn't have said it better myself. Absolutely. I am totally invested in what they've got going on here. I hope all of you guys are as well. It's cool to see all of the new people we're getting in the streams all the time. We seem to get new faces in here every week, which is awesome. Thank you so much for coming out and watching it along with us. Really, really appreciate that. And yeah, I'm super excited to see what they've got next week as well. As Conrad said, there were a lot of things we didn't even mention tonight that were out there. And next week's show is going to be off the hook. So we'll see what happens. And hopefully you guys will be there with us to watch along next Thursday night as well. Are you guys doing a watch along for ROH Best in the World on Sunday? Unfortunately, we are not. James, but enjoy it. I really, really hope you enjoy it, and I'm sure some of us will be checking it out as well. So anyway, guys, that is going to do it for us for tonight. Really appreciate you guys coming over to After the Impact. I know it's late, especially for those of you who are overseas. Good luck to England, of course, if we don't see you before then. Hopefully your team wins, and that is going to do it for us for tonight. So from all of us, from Conrad, of course, Tazzy, from my co-host Jeff and myself, Have a great rest of your night. Have a great tomorrow, obviously, as well. Make sure you check out Tazzie's stream after SmackDown. Enjoy that. And, of course, come out to see us again on Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to try to have a bunch of people in for that one, too, because we're going to do our mid-year awards. So come out for that. That's going to be fun. And hopefully we will see you all then. For all of us here, make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great Friday. And hopefully we'll see you all Saturday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Good night, everyone.